What is up, everyone? Happy Tuesday, Monday. Losing track of the days. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good start to the week. Just before we get going, I'm just going to do a few checks here. Yeah, just making sure my mic's working and everything. Hope everyone can hear me all right. Perfect. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good start to the week. Today we're just having a bit of a chilled session, making some beats. Got a session tomorrow with a very talented artist who kind of dabbles in R&B, Afrobeat, Amapiano, that kind of thing. I've got a hard drive filled with Afrobeat and Amapiano beats, and I'm going to show her some of those beats tomorrow. But I thought, just in case she's not on that vibe, I know there's an artist that she really likes, well, two artists that she really likes, which is Leon Thomas and Sasha Keable. Both artists that I absolutely love, and if you were here on Friday's stream, I was actually watching Leon Thomas's Tiny Desk and loving every second. A very, very talented artist. But I know that she really likes that kind of vibe, so I thought as a nice alternative, just in case she is feeling that, and because that's the thing with sessions, you never know, what kind of energy someone's going to be on. Sometimes it is that upbeat kind of positive summer feeling, and other times they might have had a cruddy week, or they're in their head a little bit and they want to have something a little bit more grounded, a little bit more moody. So you've got to try and facilitate. What did Luke say? Oh, I think that's that's probably the YouTube. We're doing multi-streaming today, so that's also going to be a little technical maze to work out. But I think Luke just commented on YouTube with an emoji, and I got the text through instead. But yeah, so bear with us today because we're multi-streaming for the first time. That's apparently the way that you have to do it nowadays. So we're live on YouTube and on Twitch. So yeah, stick with me in that. But yeah, that's the thing with collaborations and sessions, is that you want to try and facilitate as much of the vibe as you can. And kind of predict a little bit, especially when you've worked with them a few times. You kind of know their range, so you've got to try and facilitate. All working, perfect. Thank you very much, Chief Luco on the technicals there. Shout out to Luke all day, every day. So yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We're getting into that Leon Thomas, Sasha Keable kind of vibe, grounded, thick drums, kind of hip hop beats, patterns. R&B chords, what I've really found with especially Sasha Keable's music is that it's drum heavy, bass line heavy. The chords will be, nice kind of R&B jazzy chords, but it's driven by the bass and it's driven by the drums. So we're going to kind of get into that vibe today. And the good thing is if this beat, if I have time, I'll try and make two. But if I, with this beat, if she doesn't want it tomorrow, I have someone that is literally waiting for me to send them a beat like this, and I haven't got around to doing it yet. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, because if she doesn't want to use it, I know someone that will. So so we're just kind of getting into that vibe today. I have already, earlier, just before I started stream, I just laid down some basics, and I was like, right, I need to stop there and I need to save the rest till later when I stream, because I didn't want to get too carried away and lay things, overcook it and then not have anything to stream. But I'll show you what I've got already. Cool. So I've only really got 4 layers. So I've got these chords that I played in earlier. Now, I really like those chords. I'm pretty happy with them. I like that chord progression. I'm going to play around with that synth plugin. I'm not sold on that sound yet. It is very kind of neo-soul, kind of R&B vibes, but I feel like maybe we might need something a little bit less flavoured in the kind of sci-fi direction. I don't know. It's cool. It's just a little bit kind of, maybe a little bit too psychedelic. But we'll have a play around with that. But they're the chords. And then I played in these drums earlier. super simple, just carrying the groove. Dum, dum, cat. Yeah, and sometimes, so I'll have like a dum, dum, cat, and then on some repeats I'll just have it where it's just dum, cat. You know, I sort of change it up a little bit so that it's not too predictable. I put some swing on it as well, just so that it's kind of just laid back in its seat, you know. And then, yeah, I added just something there to make it feel a bit more like a real kit, you know. And what I did is, this is actually from a sample of a real kit, but I've re-chopped it and put it into my keyboard so that I can actually play it. I will show you. Oh, my keyboard became unplugged. Bear with me. That's weird. Not the time I really want this keyboard to stop working. There's always something, I swear down. There we go. So yeah, I chopped up a drum sample earlier, so that I could play it into from my keyboard. You get the vibe, but I really like the loop that I sampled it from. Juicy kick, nice snare, etc. And then we've got a bass line. We're in the key of B major, I believe. Should change that so I remember. And all together, that's cool. System overload. I'm going to manage that now. I just wanted to show you guys that I actually had played this in before I bounced it. You know, you can see it in its MIDI form here. So what we will do is we will bounce these in place now, just so that the CPU is happy. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good evening. Just gonna have a nice chill little vibey session here. So feel free to join me, grab some snacks, crack a cold one maybe, or maybe it's too early, it's Monday, isn't it? Maybe it's too early in the week, but I ain't judging if you are, it's still the evening. Cool, so we've bounced them, we'll get a little folder going as well. Ah yes, I think I have got a little folder going actually already. Yes, unused. Slot them in there. Keep it nice and tidy. Oof. Lovely. Right, we need to find out. I'm not completely sold on this. I think it's cool. That's way too attention seeking, that one. We just kind of want it to be in the background. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. Oh, let me bring this in so that it doesn't do that. Bounce it for the CPU. Cool. Cool. That's really like nice. I think that doesn't distract too much. Make for a good intro as well. So intro wise, what we're gonna do. What I love doing is I love reversing stuff for intros because it kind of gives you the sound of the sample, but it's obviously playing it backwards, so it adds a little bit of tension. They obviously use it in films and stuff for dramatic effect. But what I like to do here is cut it, copy it, then undo it, but it still remembers the copy. So then you can, you then don't have to have a big cut down through your sample. And then we will go like this, we'll go like this, boom. And then put that up top. And then we will move these guys. Drums will come in and everything will come in together there. And then what you need to do, see if I were to reverse this now, it would reverse all of this because it kind of treats this as the same file even though they're split. So what you've got to do is put this into another channel, bounce that in place, track in place, boom. You can then get rid of that. This is now a separate file. Then go into the file, boop, functions, reverse, and then you've got a nice little intro. Cool, that's a start anyway. So then what I was going to go on to say is I like this because it's sort of in the background, it's laying down the melody, it's laying down the chords, but it's not too in your face and it's not filling up the kind of spectrum of sound. But I do want something a little bit grittier, something a little bit moodier and a little bit darker to be layered on top of that, because that's the kind of vibe we're on today. You know, the Leon Thomas, Sasha Keable vibe, they do have like gritty samples, they have, you know, textured instruments, they have stuff that isn't completely in pitch, and it creates this really kind of cool, rough kind of soundscape, but it's layered with lots of really tuneful, really melodic elements, so the whole thing kind of just sounds quite cool and edgy and stuff. So I like this, but I want to layer it with something a little bit more edgy. So let's find that now. And we're not looking for sounds that sound too overproduced today. We want somewhat of a live element feeling. That's kind of cool. Let's hear it with that. Okay, what I'm thinking is bounce it. Then I'm thinking maybe we drop it an octave. If not, maybe change the formant. We'll see what it's like down the octave. There's a bit of mud there I want to just get rid of. I kind of like the fact that's not perfect. As I was saying, we're looking for that kind of rough textured elements in there. Maybe a little bit of delay on there as well. Cool, maybe we put some stereo spread on that as well, just to sort of give it a different spacing. Oh, and my laptop has crashed, which is great. Oh, lovely. We love technical issues. Why is that crashed now? Bear with me, guys. Oh, God. Few weaves and warbs, Luke says. Nah, not weaves and warbs on this today, brother. More organic R&B kind of vibes. Bear with me, my laptop does this sometimes. It was either that the my charger wasn't plugged in properly, and it's that. Yeah, that's the case. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. There you go. I think it. So my charger's plugged in, but it didn't recognise that it was, so it just kind of died a death. And because the battery's old, it has to be plugged in. Anyone with an older Mac understands the vibe. Right, back where we were. The good thing is I have muscle memory like nothing else for Command S. So I always kind of know that I'm saved. Yeah. Cool. I like Valhalla Room. Without? With. I like Room because I've got Valhalla Vintage Verb, which is like a go-to. Anyone that knows. It's an amazing plugin. But Valhalla Room is really good when you want an atmosphere, but you don't want it too... I don't know. Vintage Verb is really, really lovely, and I think it's really lovely on vocals and certain elements of maybe guitars and things. But in this time, this, I wanted to just give it a little bit more space, as if it was recorded in a room, and maybe that was even a little bit too much. But yeah, it's a nice alternative reverb. Cool, I'm just going to do the same thing here. Boop. Do do do, ba da bow. Track in place. Cool, that should sound quite cool reversed. Do a little fade in the beginning. Cool, let's just make sure we're lined up here. This is definitely the kind of vibe we're on though. Like so far, we're on the right lines. And sometimes, where I'm into a lot of music, sometimes I have to be a little bit disciplined just at the beginning, making sure I'm getting the right sounds and stuff, because I can go off on a tangent, and because I'm influenced by a lot of different music, I can set out with an intention and then go off and make something completely different, and I'm like, no, I need to stick in with this vibe today. We didn't get the notification you were live. Oh, okay, well, I think you might have to go into your settings. Well, not settings, sorry. There should be a little bell icon underneath my stream. If you hit that, it should enable notifications for when I go live, and for anyone watching that wants to know, we usually get notifications. Okay, well, I'll have to work that out after stream, guys. I'm sorry, I'm multi-streaming on YouTube as well. It's been quite the brain strain to work that out, so I'll have to work that out another night. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, quite a lot going on technically tonight, so you'll have to. Yeah. Cool. Right, where were we? Cool. And then, so I feel like that's a good like beginning to a song. The kind of a layer I would want on top of that is that in a minute I'm going to find some vocal samples to chop up, maybe like a cool soul sample or something, or some voices that I can just loop in the background. But I would have that, that's cool, and then I would literally just want drums and bass on like a dropout. So that would be your verse basically. And that's the other thing that when I started production, that I didn't necessarily understand straight away, is that, okay, there's one thing being a good producer, there's one thing making beats that are good, you know, that not only does it have a groove, is it exciting to listen to, maybe, you know, is the mix clear enough and everything, but also, you know, can the artist write on it? And if you overcomplicate a beat, I feel like, especially when you're producing beats for artists, you have to try to get that right balance. And I mean, I feel like every time I come back to making a beat, in some respect, I have to kind of almost humble myself and start again, because it can be different for every time. But you have to get that right balance of, you know, making an exciting beat, but also leaving enough space for them to be able to write over, because they might want to add a load of BVs and have a load of different harmonies and things floating around. And if you filled all that space with synths and melodic ideas, they're not gonna be inspired. So most of the time, less is more, and I feel like that's true with a lot of art forms. So we're just gonna have this double length for the verse. Already kind of know how I want to map it out. So yeah, I want this will be the verse. So if I add little markers, verse 1, this will be like half chorus and then intro. Oh, no, we didn't want the score, thank you. Intro, cool. Gonna add this. Now we will have other layers on this so that it's not completely as stripped back as we have it, but that is pretty much close to where I want it. So I've got to be so careful I don't get carried away, because it's so easy to just start layering stuff out, and it's like, no, because if I was an artist here, like, well, I am an artist, but if I was the artist writing to this, suddenly it's like, oh, okay, and it's easy to kind of start thinking of the first melodies of the session because it's so stripped back. And I would say it's then kind of around here where it repeats that you want to add a different element just to keep it interesting. So we've added back in the, but we'll keep them turned down. And then we're going to go and find a vocal sample as well to chop up in a minute. What could be quite cool is maybe if we add these chords back in, but we find an arpeggiated, yeah, maybe we arpeggiate it, and we find a cool sound potentially, but we don't want it. We want it the octave down. And we want a different sound. This is sounding good though. I'm happy with this so far. Right, we just kind of want. No, that's way too techy. Yeah, maybe we drop it. Maybe we pop it back up the octave. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's kind of like a slightly out of tune, kind of like kids' music box. It's obviously not out of tune, but you know what I mean. It's got that little bit of kind of tinniness to it. Right, cool. And then we arpeggiate it. Don't need it 1/16, probably 1/8. Cool. That mixed with a vocal sample will be perfect to have on that, and then we'll drop it back in for the chorus, which will just be these kind of layers. And I think we're kind of getting close. This and the chopping up of vocal samples over the top, we're getting close to having a beat that is ready for the artist, you know. You never want to produce too much this early on. I've made that mistake many a time. I've overproduced. Artist comes in, they're like, I like it, but they can't come up with melodies because I've put so much in. You end up stripping things back, and you're just wasting your time doing beats like that because you end up undoing a load of work you've done in the session, you know. Cool. So far we got this. I like the swing of that. I like how lazy it is, but it's still tight, you know. Cool. I like this. I feel like we need a little bit of reverb, and we're going to put some tremolo on so that it pans, just to make it a little bit more exciting. Cool. Back to the chorus. Right, mix wise, I just want to put something on the bass because I like the bass part, but I feel like it needs a little bit more juice. So let's get a Pro Q on it. Let's get this puppy boosted a little bit. If anyone's watched any of my live mixing sessions, you'll know one of my favourite things about the Pro Q4 is the Make It Spectral. It's amazing. It means I don't have to boost it just in an EQ sweep like you would normally. Oh no, we can have it normal, but we've made it spectral, and what that will do is it will just boost those frequencies there, but it's a dynamic, it sort of shapes it dynamically, so it's going to do it with the music. It's not just going to have a flat curve at the, you know, it's not just going to have a straight curve in the EQ. It's going to be moving with the beat. Cool. And then also, sometimes what I like to do with bass, just a little bit, is distort it. Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. If you add a little bit of distortion to the bass, I don't mean distortion as in like heavy metal or rock or anything. I mean distortion, with, the plug-in, adding that texture to it. All it does is it doesn't sound distorted in the mix. It actually brings it forward, and you don't have to touch the volume knob. Some people, another way of calling it, another word for distortion in the music world is saturation, or as Isotope, their plugin, they call it an exciter, but it is saturation. And all saturation is distortion across multiple different frequency bands. And yeah, it just allows it to pop through a little bit. So if you distort the higher end of a bass line, it could just be heard a little bit more. And you always have to keep that in mind, especially for songs on your phone, right? Bass a lot of the time gets lost. Even with the new iPhones and stuff, I know they've got a little bit more bass than they did back in the day with the iPhone 3G and the 3GS or whatever. But still, they're limited in the amount of bass they can really show you. All they can really show you is low mids. So with your low mids and your higher end, if you distort that in your bass line, it basically boosts that a little bit, in layman's terms, and it can allow your bass to be heard a little bit more on those devices. Don't go mad thinking about every single device all the time, because you're going to go crazy, but it's something just to keep in mind. And also, you can be a producer, and you don't necessarily have to be a mixing engineer. Do you know what I mean? If you're a producer that makes beats, you might have a mixing engineer you send your beats to, and that's it. Once you've made your beat, you forget about it and let him handle it, and that's cool. That's absolutely fine. I mix myself. I've had to learn that, and I'm still on that journey. But so, if you are interested in mixing, that's just a little point to remember. Right, let's continue. I'm going to play it to you in the mix, so play it without, play it with. It's subtle, but it just has a little bit more oomph to it. Then I want to drop out here. Love a drop out. Get rid of that. Cool. That means that it's going to land. Like your first chorus is going to land. Also, give space to if a lyric, like when the artist that I'm working with tomorrow is writing to that, if she has a killer lyric that lands there, like. Da 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 da. It just means that it just lands a little bit better. These are the things you've got to think about when you're producing for an artist, rather than just producing in general. Cool. And also, the biggest thing I ever learned from producers that when I was younger, I used to just go and sit in rooms where there were producers making beats. And when I was learning, I just used to watch them and just watch the sessions. And one producer said to me, never forget the famous, and I can't remember what musician says this now, it might have been a famous producer, but it was basically a producer telling me about a famous quote within the music world, which is, music is the space in between the notes. And that's the biggest and best phrase I've ever had, a bit of advice that stuck with me. More enough time, and at uni, to be fair, when I was studying music production, their way of saying it was, it's not addition, it's subtraction most of the time. So like if you've made a beat and you're confused about it, and you're like, oh, something's just not right with it, chances are you put too much in. And most of the time, it's subtraction, not addition. So what have you added in there? Start stripping stuff back, and chances are, but it's not easy. And also, you do get absolute masterpieces of production, beats that I absolutely love, that are complex as hell and have layers and layers and layers. And if you listen to Jacob Collier's music, he's got layer upon layer upon layer of vocal harmonies and everything, and that's almost an art within itself. So there are in some cases there are obviously very complicated songs with multiple layers that are incredible, and like you ascend, but just in general. And also the other thing is it definitely applies when you're making beats for artists, because the song hasn't been written yet. You know, the vocals haven't gone down, the BVs haven't gone down. Also, an artist might have an idea, oh, I really hear a synth line here, or I want some strings in here. So as you know you're going to develop and grow it with an artist, you might as well get the vibe down and then kind of leave the rest for you and the artist to work on. Otherwise, you can get the thing of they start being like, get rid of this, and then you're like, oh, I spent hours on this. And you get too attached to the different layers. Anyway, we won't talk anymore. Let's have a little listen to what we got so far. Right, I know what was going on there. Yeah, the fade out. We don't want to fade out on the drums. We want it just to cut. But I don't want it to pop. So leave it like that. Oh, sorry, not the drums, the bass. Cool. Right, so now, obviously we've already established this at the beginning, right? So by the time the actual full chorus kicks in, I mean, this is going to be double length. We want another element to be in it. So let's take our chords. And let's find another sound that we like. And maybe it's that we keep the ARP in there as another layer, maybe. Might do that as well. But let's just have a little look of what else we've got. That's like a... If you ever listen to a Snoop Dogg song or a West Coast, that's what that's meant to be. Could actually play in a line maybe. Let's do that, let's see. I want to bend, but maybe that could be cool. I like that. That's kind of cool. It does this sometimes. It's really annoying when I do pitch bends. I mean, you guys are my witness. It sounded absolutely fine. Now it's shifted it to another note, which is really annoying. I might do it up the octave. No. Why is it doing this to me? What is it doing? That sounds like the fire alarm from secondary school. If anyone knows, then no. I don't know why it's doing this to me. It's really annoying. We'll go for another recording. Kind of cool. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Too much. It's ruining the vibe. The octave. Bring it down and turn it down. Why is it doing this to me? That's clearly not what I just played. It's always when I'm live streaming stuff like this happens. I swear to God. Okay, now it's fine. Right, let me bounce this in place. It's probably the fact that it's MIDI. going to add a plugin that I really love called Ear Candy. Going to actually turn off. I'm going to bounce it again, turn off the tremolo, because it's going to add a variety of that. It's going to add a version of that with this new plugin, and I think if I do it twice, it won't be as good. So we'll do that again. Poof, poof. Ba ba bow, bam bam. Done. There we go. Just adds that. Almost like the side chain. A lot of house producers do this with their synths and stuff. But the beautiful thing about this plugin is that it's already preset done there for you, so you can just add it. But yeah, just adds that. And then you've got the drums that are kind of loosely bopping around that, so it kind of starts gluing a bit of a groove together. So I think, yeah, definitely add that. So we've obviously made that glider, that synth and everything like that, and then we've now put some plugins on it. So we've got a cool new layer that's completely unique to us. Get rid of, well, we'll put these in the folder that is hidden, so that in case we ever need them again, turn them off to avoid the CPU getting overloaded. Boop. Bye bye. Cool. And then we need to find a vocal sample, but we might want this arpeggiated. Obviously we've got it here, so we might want that for this section. And maybe, yeah, I don't know, we'll play around. We'll listen to it from the top, see how we're going. Cool. I'm also going to do a bit of a volume fade as well, so there's not so much of a jump. Okay, I'm going to go back on what I said. I do like this, but because we haven't got a 4 on the floor kick, I think that pulse isn't what we want. I think it disrupts the groove. So I'm going to go back on what I said there. But we are going to pick one of the other cool kind of stuttery things. That could work. Yeah, I like that. Combine that with this. I mean, a lot of this is all trial and error, just making sure it sounds nice, you know. So far I'm not completely sold. Yeah, that's cool. Now the reason I'm EQing this midsection out is because this is where the voice sits in this frequency, all the way from about here to about here. But the mid gets busy quick. So, yeah. Cool, I think it needs to be repeated, to be honest. I don't think we should introduce it and then just get rid of it, so I think that needs to stay. Cool, I think now we got a fish for a vocal sample, and then we're getting close to how I want it to go into the session tomorrow. Ooh, piece of ear candy. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, ear candy is important. Getting those textures right, you know. Cool, we know that. Blah blah blah. And that's not doing it all the time, it's kind of doing it a little bit, and then it's set at the minute to trigger every 2 bars, I believe. Yeah. So again, it gives that siren that we made. Not only is it obviously changing in notes throughout it, but it's also now changing in pitch and texture. it's not doing it all the time, but it gives you that variety, you know. I also absolutely love the artwork of this. I love these sweets. They're like the strawberries and cream sweets or whatever, and it also looks like Gizmo from I forgot what film that's called. If anyone in chat can remember, those really cute little, what are they called? Gizmo, and they had the evil ones that you pour water on and they'll multiply. Gremlins, that's it. What a film. Right, time to find a vocal sample. So, vocals. B major. And we want anything from R&B, soul, hip hop, any of these. Right, let's make sure this is turned down because this is really loud. Now, I'm not really looking for too many oohs, ahs, that sort of thing, because I know that when I get in the session, we'll probably add our own. But I do want maybe like some sort of vocal chant or some sort of something a bit more like that. Now, I don't know if this is going to work with the chords. We'll see if that works. Oh, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. It only takes one time. Notice how it's a little bit pitchy, but just in a kind of live way. I really like samples like that because it just, you put some filters on it, you make it sound, it just gives it that kind of. We're just going to mess around here until something sticks, basically. Maybe not. Maybe if we. It's too wordy. It will shape what we want to do too much, I think. Ooh, I like that. Kind of makes you do the head lean. Good. Don't have any other word to describe it. When there's certain chords, I always kind of go. Maybe that might work. Let's have a listen. Kind of. Mute it. Maybe there's something we can do with that. Tell me how but you went away. It really wants me to pick this, doesn't it? Which I'm not picking. It keeps offering that to me. Right, I'm just going to loop this so that I can hear it on top of it. Oh, I like that. This is a texture. Maybe in the verse. Come back to that as well. Oh, I love that. Who did that hook and gave it to Splice? Hope you got paid enough for that. I just wanna hold you down like a real one. Promise that you'll be around. Oh, that's so nice. We may have to try and repurpose that. I really like that. I don't know if it's going to fit with the chords that we've got, but let's see. I just wanna hold you down like a real one. Promise that you'll be around. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I just wanna hold you down like a real one. Promise that you'll be around. I just wanna hold you down like a real one. Promise that you'll be around. I just wanna hold you down like a real one. Promise that you'll be around. No, Alvin and the Chipmunks come to play. I really like this. Do an octave on this one. This is definitely the kind of, this definitely has the kind of vibes that I want. So we'll pitch shift that one, up the octave. I really like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have delay on it so that it kind of echoes into the gap, and then we'll play it again so that it's not constantly playing. What do you reckon? Cool, yeah, before we'll do it. And then we want to just make sure that the only comes up at the end. Cool. And then create a track stack for that. Oh, my bad. Track stack, summing stack. Bam. Then we want to add something cool, like, yeah, metaflanger, just to edge it up a little bit. Turn the volume up so you can hear the echo properly. Turn it back down. I think that's a cool texture though. We're going to obviously have the bass drop out, but it's going to come in on the second repeat, maybe? Yeah. No, it's going to come halfway through the first bit, I think. Let's have a listen. Again, and I feel like we also need maybe straight down the middle, one the lower octave below that. That needs to remain a constant now throughout. It might even be better off, I think, coming in on that second bit, like leave this bit, 6, 7, 8, and needed now. Cool, that's fine, do that. Cool, we're shaping things up. We don't want to get too busy, too quick. I do want the drums to be a little bit juicier. So let's have a little look here, how we're doing mix-wise. Let's get a preset, let's get a drum preset on this. What we got? Punch. I like that. I've used this one before as well. Nice. Cool. The other thing is on this, I just want to have let's go that, and then let's sidechain this to the drums. Cool. Just want to make sure that is happening. Where is the drums? Just want to see it in action. I'm not convinced that sidechain has been. Start again. There we go. That was the headphones. There we go. We know it's actually working now. Okay, cool. No spectral. Cool. That's working. It wasn't working before. Cool. Nice. Just to make sure those drums are coming through. Especially we want the kick as well, so we should probably move over a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Leave that space for the artist there. We can layer stuff up later if you need. 6, 7, huh. Right, as much as these are cool, I want them turned down even more. And what we might do is put one last thing on it, one of my faves, ear candy, and try some other things maybe. Right, and I want this cool, like, atmospheric thing to come through here a little bit more. Gain's quite quiet on that. Just turn the gain up. And we're getting there, we're working our way through it. As I said, don't want it to be too busy. I want it to kind of capture an atmosphere, inspire the artist to write, and then we can grow it from there, really. Turn that down a little bit. There's always that debate of like, you want, obviously, especially leads and stuff, you want it to be heard, but you don't. Sometimes I feel like when you think it's loud enough, turn it down just a little bit more. I feel sometimes. Right, and then that is what I would do lengthwise of a beat before a session with an artist, because you want to allow for things to grow in the session. If you map out the whole song before they come along, chances are they might want it a bit differently, or they might want to reimagine the bridge or things like that. You want to leave space to come up with stuff in the moment and reshape as you go, and all sorts. What I would guess from the structure that we've gone through so far is that obviously we've got, let me move these over because these have changed now. Got verse 1 here obviously, then we've got chorus. We obviously had the half chorus at the beginning. Then I would guess that here we'd go in for another verse. But you could opt in for a bridge where you take it off in a different direction. But that really depends on, I guess, what you've written, and whether you want to lock in with some of the same sort of melodies and just keep it as that kind of consistent, or whether you want to try something a little bit different. And that I'm going to leave open to my session tomorrow, and see what vibe she's feeling. I'm just going to listen through here now, see if there's any areas that I feel like could be maybe removed, or maybe things where things are missing. Still going to go and hunt for another vocal sample as well that I think I could maybe loop in over the top. But let's just listen to the top and see where we're at. Maybe, I'm not too sure about this double repeat of that. Maybe we go... Maybe we bring that back up then, and then we loop in the sample that we want to find. Cool. Right, let's find this sample.
Touch me, I feel like my sunshine has come.
Ooh, I like that. Obviously, rhythmically it'd be different, but da, 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 da. That's kind of cool. It's too much. I don't know. It's cool, the effects in that. Maybe I'll bank that channel strip, but let's keep looking. That's kind of cool. It's kind of haunting in a way. If I can make that work. I kind of like that. So, what if we do this? We move it out one. I kind of like it. We're getting somewhere. Kind of like it. It's weird, but right. What we're going to do is we're going to do that. Turn it down so the track it doesn't distract when the track comes in. Then we're going to go put some tremolo on it so it floats around a little bit. Cool. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to get a vinyl player sound, like a pin. Not that. If we're making a hip hop beat. I swear I've heard that sample so many times. Go for that one. Let's at least sync it up, sync the vinyl up with the with the project. There we go. Whoa! So that, you know, when the sort of the sound of the CD is going round, it's going to be in time. That won't let me loop. That's probably because. There we go. Right, let's just do some time editing for this and lock it in with the drums, and then I think we're good. It's going to sound nice, I think. Oh, yes, that. That's it. Oh, lock it in. Come on, work with me here. Work with me. Show me what you got. Do I really have to put a pin in there? Where is it? Okay, if you're being stubborn, I'm gonna make you move. Cool. So. Oh. Cool, and then it starts again, so we don't need to do that again. A loopy loopy loop. Nice. So it will go loose time into grid locked, which is cool because it gives it that loose and haunting at the intro. Nothing's locked in yet. The drums haven't started. Blah de blah de blah. And then when the drums kick in, it will lock in with the grid. Well, still a bit loose, but it actually is in the groove now, which is good. It's kind of haunting, and I like it. This is the kind of sample I was looking for. I might take this off of that so that it floats around when it starts moving. I like that. You can imagine like Kendrick on this, to be fair. And I feel like that sample's just glued this beat, you know? Right, now that's distracting too much, so what we will do is we will politely say, thank you for your service, but we need some space, so we're going to do that, and we will bring it back in, obviously. A 5, 6, 7, and drop. Turn the vinyl crackle down a little bit. They're the vibes, but not that much. That needs to come in, but comes in a lot quieter. So it's a distant memory. Yeah. Okay, the one thing that's annoying me there is that the should come in square on that. That needs to be cut there. That same applies. Boom. There we go. Five, six, 5, 6, 7, chorus. Cool, I'm going to bring that bit up. That last bit. Cool, and then I'm pretty happy with this. On the stereo out, I'm just going to put a nice little mastering plug-in just to glue the mix together. Mix glue. I might want the depth and width one, let's see. That's quite nice. That's nice. Cool, right, let's listen to it from the top. Oh, one thing I want to do though, just quickly, is all of these bad boys. Well, we've got guitar, which is slightly different from the others, but all of these guys, they need to be a different colour. Purple or something, and then this needs to be, what do you reckon, like an amber. Bassline needs to be, bassline needs to be like a deep purple. These are all sound effects sort of thing. So slightly weirder colour, maybe like a yellowy green, maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Colour regions of our tracks. There we go, that's a bit nicer coloured. Let's do that for now though. Oh, that needs to be in there. Make this like a blue or something. I love blue, but the problem is that the default colour is blue, so I always kind of go against it all the time. But that's nice. Cool. Let's put that up there. Yeah, nice. Lovely stuff. Right, let's listen to it from the beginning and see what we've got. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think that is a vibe. I'm happy with that. I will happily go into tomorrow's session and offer that up as an alternative to what I already have on my hard drive. I think it captures a vibe. I think it has an essence of Sasha Keable and Leon Thomas. It's that kind of moody, somewhat lo-fi, somewhat old school, new school hybrid, kind of messy in places, but also to the groove and locked in to the grid in places. I think I've done what I set out to do, and I'm happy with that. And I will go into tomorrow's session knowing that this is a strong alternative to the other tracks that I've got to offer. And who knows, it could turn into a really good, into a really good song. That's the beauty of these sessions. That's the beauty of producing new beats and writing new songs. You never know what it's going to turn into. I've obviously had my cooking session here. We've cooked up a vibe, but an artist can come in and completely change up the vibe and turn it into something else. And that's the exciting thing about collaboration and growing and making a song. And then on to the songwriting part, which is one of my favourite stages. Don't get me wrong, I love production. I've cut my teeth doing this, I've spent years learning how to produce and sample chop and add drums and everything like that. But the thing that really gets me going is songwriting, storytelling, and unpacking trauma, really. Yeah, so perfect. Thank you for everyone that's joined me today. Another stream, another day. We're on our way to affiliate. One day, 6 months' time, maybe a year's time, who knows how long. But we're going to get there. And and this is our first multi-stream as well. First time on YouTube, so hi to everyone that's watched on YouTube. And this will be up on my channel on Twitch and on YouTube, but it will expire after 7 days on Twitch. But it will, I believe, stay on my YouTube channel now in the live section, so go and check that out if you haven't caught all of today's session and you want a deep dive on how I produce and the kind of things I do and tips and tricks. And if you've enjoyed watching it, drop a comment in the section in the comment section below and let me know you've enjoyed. And here's to many more streams. Perfect. I won't be streaming tomorrow because I've got a studio session, but I will be back the day after, so Wednesday, and I believe I'll be streaming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So stay tuned for that, and I'll keep you updated. I'm going to do a timetable soon on my Twitch account, so you will see my schedule. But as this is going into my second week of streaming now, I'm still working out the kinks and time-wise what's best for me, because I had some late nights last week, and I can do that one-offs, but I don't know if I can do that all the time. But thank you for tuning in today. I will catch you guys next time, and thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys super soon. Let's run it back. Perfect. See you guys next time.